If you're designing custom draperies for your client's home, you might already know that drapery styles can vary drastically from one project to the next. The details can make or break your custom design. Considering exactly where on the window the draperies will be installed is a great starting point. For example, a bay window might require multiple panels between the angles of the bay. While a panel is one single drapery and can be made stationary or wide enough for full coverage of a window. In comparison to drapery panels are drapery pairs. Pairs are comprised of two panels, made to be installed together on a single window with one panel on the right and one panel on the left. Designing a pair of draperies or individual panels will affect your measurements for different parts of the drapery, like your projection, return, and overlap. Find a link to our video explaining these below, but to review, the projection and return refer to the part of the drapery after the last pleat, where the fabric extends back to the wall. Overlap is somewhat similar because the measurement refers to the space after the last pleat but on the other side of the panel. Both of these measurements are important for a custom drapery panel and help us to determine if the drapery is a left or right panel. For example, if the drapery will stack back towards the left of your window, this is considered a left panel. This can get a little confusing because if you're drawing a drapery close to cover the window, even though the panel expands to the right, we would still consider this a left panel. Let's focus for a moment on this left drapery panel. The projection measurement is on the left because this is where your drapery goes back to the wall. For this left panel, we still consider the space after the last pleat on the right side as the overlap. Unless you're okay with our standard 3.5-inch measurement for both the projection and the overlap, it's important to specify a different measurement with your order. Simply stating no overlap or no return will default to the panel ending on a pleat as shown. Lastly, depending on whether a drapery is a left or right panel, multiple widths of fabric will require a seam in different locations. Our standard practice for half widths is to sew the fabric onto the projection side of the drapery to hide the vertical seam within the fullness of the pleats. Learn more about drapery widths in our railroaded fabric video, also linked below. So, to recap, for a left panel, the drapery will stack back on the left side of the window. The projection side going back to the wall is on the left, and the half width, if applicable, will be sewn onto the left and vice versa for a right panel. Some spaces might call for a center panel. In this case, we would suggest the same projection and overlap measurement on both sides of the panel for a uniform look. However, we may still have some questions if the width of the drapery panel requires more than one width of fabric. Ordering a center panel made with 1.5 widths of fabric will still require us to sew the half width onto either the right or left side next to the full width. As long as the overlap and projection measurement are the same, a 1.5 width panel will still function as a center panel. But we might ask if you would prefer the half width sewn onto the right or left side of the panel. There's a lot to consider for custom drapery design, but all of the possibilities present exciting opportunities for you and your client. We hope this was helpful, so thanks for watching and be sure to like or subscribe to our channel for more videos.